Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Jack Chappell. I'm the game developer for the upcoming game Attica Origins, and today we are going to be reacting to a very requested video game, which is Death Stranding. So just a heads up is that I have seen a few things about this game. I've been purposely trying to not look at anything regarding this game before this video. I want to be a fresh slate for this, but all I've seen is that the scores for the reviews either seem to be, like a 6 out of 10 or like a 9 or a 10 out of 10, and there's no like in between. And I also know that this game is by Hideo Kojima and has Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. Apart from that, I don't really know too much about it. So this is going to be my first reaction to this game. Here we go. Margaret Qualley. I think that she's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think. I watch a lot of movies. Okay, Norman Reedus. Wow, this game looks stunning so far. Typical Hideo Kojima cutscene. Looks great.
Don't worry, Sam. He doesn't bite. Glad you made it.
We haven't gotten to any gameplay stuff yet, but this looks beautiful. Visually stunning. This is movie quality here.
What the?
Is that an invisible baby? Man, you could actually, let's go back. No, I want to see this again. I want to see this again here, actually. Look at Norman Reedus' skin. You can see the pores on his skin. You could see the little blemishes, and you could see the individual hairs on the mustache. The level of detail they put into this character, I mean, this might be, I'm trying to think of, in terms of a more detailed, at least first impression to a character I've had, but this might be number one in terms of the most detail I've seen for the first character of a game of a cutscene before, so I'm impressed so far. Still don't know what's going on with this invisible baby here.
There, she's down. Even though she can't drink it, my body keeps making it. Going through the motions really helps with the soreness, though.
What is she?
She's my daughter. And I'm her mama.
Huh?
It's okay. She's only connected to me. It's not like the other BTs.
They have a little bit of weird lighting there on Norman Reedus' hair. I don't know if you could see that. It's kind of like reflective on the outline there. Just a really random thing I just noticed.
You can see it, right? You're hooked up. Now you know why I can't leave.
Little help!
Okay, Sam. Remove the pod and connect it to that incubator.
Baby that is put in there? Wow, this game visually, the cutscenes really look 10 out of 10.
Good.
But is that Guillermo del Toro?
Temporary excessive stress. Easily addressed if we return it to its mother's womb.
Mother?
Located in the capital Knot City ICU. Brain dead, of course.
You mean still mother?
Correct. A still mother.
Look at the lighting here. I mean, the attention to detail on all these cutscenes. Now, by the way, I know Hideo Kojima, I've played the Metal Gear games, and I remember specifically actually was it Metal Gear 4 where I was playing the game, and then halfway through there was an hour-long cutscene that I didn't know was coming. And so I was just like, do I go to the bathroom? Can I pause it? I don't think I could pause it or something like that. I was like, can I go to the bathroom now? But it was just an hour-long cutscene. It all looked great. But this is you can see the shadows from on Norman Reedus' jacket here and just on his face, just little things like that. Man, the lighting in this game has been a 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 so far, 9 out of 10. Visuals, this is as good as it gets. I've seen for a game.
Facilitates a connection between the world of the dead and the BB. And you, in turn, connect yourself to a BB, granting you the ability to sense BTs. These pods were designed to simulate the conditions inside a still mother's womb. BBs need to believe they're in one at all times to function properly. However, we can only
look at the particle effects there. So I really like that too, that they're showing this, is that as he steps through there, you can see that they're putting in either some sort of post-processing volume, which is you're pretty much changing the visuals for a volume of area. So post-processing, that's what it does. If you see like a lot of fog or something like that, or you see, I don't know, like rainbows or you know, something that changes your visual field that isn't clear, your odds are you're using a mixture of particles and post-processing volumes, and this one looks really good. It looks like half digitized, and there's also particles coming off. It's really good.
Deception for so long, which is why we must periodically update the environmental data by synchronizing it with a still mother via the chiral network. There. The update is in progress.
Wow, this looks really
right
like
now. The pod is synchronizing with the still mother in Capital Knot City and reconfiguring its settings based on the latest data. Returning your BB to the womb in this manner will temporarily reduce its stress levels. That being where it technically belongs, of course.
Kid looks happy.
I'll try adjusting the oxytocin dosage. Autotoxemia should set in much slower from now on. You should remember that BBs are just equipment. Try not to get attached. Each one has been physically removed from its still mother's womb. A process that renders them unpredictable and prone to failure.
So is he just delivering
no BB
babies?
On record has remained in service.
Wow, this looks pretty good, actually, just in terms of visuals. If this is the gameplay visuals, looks good. The landscape so far looks quite... The landscape so far looks a little bit empty. Yeah, there's rocks everywhere, but again, it's not complicated to place rocks all around the place. So, looks a little bit... it looks massive and cool, but a little bit too empty, in my opinion. All right, well, that's a feature in this game. You can pee, and that's a feature. Wait, did they actually put that in the game? You could actually fling your pee. What in the world is this game? This is hilarious. I like it. I don't know. So did they put in number 2 into the game as well?
Nothing in the tank.
And a mushroom just spawned? What's going on? What is going on with this game? Within the first 15 seconds of gameplay, we've just seen urinating, so okay.
Over here!
Huh?
I'm Sam! Hey!
If he's far away, that wouldn't be that loud. So does he have some sort of audio equipment? Oh, nice! He had a scan effect. I just did that I just tested that out in one of my games, actually. So the scan effect, it's cool things. You involve materials, and you actually send out a picture. To do an effect like that, picture you just sending out like a sphere in all directions, or I guess mainly in front of you, to kind of scan and temporarily change the material, and you send it out at whatever speed you want to, and that kind of produces that scan effect. It's a little bit more complicated than that, or it might sound simpler than that. But yeah, I just did one of those for fun in my game. It's not going to go in it, but I just did it for fun. So yeah, he has to have some sort of audio.
Anyone?
Unless that's not him yelling, is it?
Anybody hear me?
Yeah, he has to have some sort of audio thing in his ear or something to amplify that sound. So what you do in a game, actually, is, I guess that they didn't do it in this game, is that typically you have something, I think it's called attenuation or tentuation or something like that of sound, where pretty much what it means is that in the game, wherever the sound source is, so if it's 400 meters away, it'll gradually decrease over a distance, depending on where you're hearing the sound. So that's why in my game, for example, you hear the Titan's footstep very dully from, about a kilometer away. But if you get really, really close to it, it's very, very loud, actually. And so that's called attenuation. In this game, I don't know if they did it. It looks like they didn't do any sort of attenuation because maybe they just didn't want the game to be that difficult to hear or something. I don't know. Oh, that's cool. All right, you pop out a ladder. And it's oh, that's cool. All right, so far we're a few minutes in and not a lot of action. I just want to point that out. Normally, when you're a few minutes into the game, you do something a little bit peaceful to kind of teach the player what's going on, and then you jump into some sort of action, usually right after that, to test what you have just learned. So maybe that's what they're showing here. Maybe it's going to be some sort of action soon. Okay, so we are now at this.
How you doing, Sam?
Base. That's a cool HUD. Wow. I know it's a little thing like that, but having a HUD that goes that cool and pops up during the game, that's very impressive to me. I like that a lot. I might do something like that for I don't know yet.
You the delivery dude? Oh, that's a relief. I've just about given up on you. Good job, man. Good job. Not that I'm surprised. I mean, you're you, right? About time I hopped in the whole chiral network.
Man, this game looks so... That looks real, this shot. This shot looks real. I know that they probably mocapped this entire thing with motion capture suits, which is why it feels real, like the motion. But the actual modeling of the character, and just look at the textures. You can see the like little divots in his jacket. Like, look at that. And how the reflection changes. I mean, this is visually it's a Hideo Kojima game. He's pushing the limits visually. Wow.
And all that. You can help me do that, yeah?
He's crying? Did I see a tear go down his face? Oh, so you want to expand the chiral network, and it looks like you're trying to venture across the United States?
Thank you, Sam.
Did I get that right?
Hey, take care out there. Hate for this to be the last time we meet, you know? So, I'm gonna need a moment to look over what you brought me. But I'll hit you back via mail after. Promise. Hey, I'm hoping maybe you can help me out again. Don't want to be weird, but I feel you and I might have like a connection or something.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Good job, man. Good job.
Ha!
Thank you. Kindly.
Come back soon.
Do you get any sort of progression in this game? Or is this just you do the missions and that's it? Oh, you fell off a cliff. Are you dead? Did you just die? Of course. Do you have health? Like, what's going on here? That should be a death, no? Oh, the baby.
That's okay.
Oh.
Someone's happy.
That's so cute. Well, that was kind of adorable. Grip to balance. Huh, so there's a balance mechanic in this walking walking down a hill. Oh, that's cool. All right, so there's like some vehicles, kind of floating skateboard, levitating skateboard that you can ride. That's awesome. All right, that's a big bonus. Oh, you're at a base now. Oh, nice. Is this gonna have some sort of like Metal Gear stealth aspect to it?
サムから奪われた荷物と取り返しに行っています。自分も取られるとあっこに行きます。で、ひどい時は靴まで取られます。はい、ちょっとこうステルスなんで、あそこにミュールいますよ。危ない。はい、で縄を使うゲームです。
Huh. Oh, we're about to see some combat, aren't we? Some combat or some stealth. Oh, this feels like a little bit of Metal Gear here. I like it. All right.
で、上のやつがさっき置いた荷物ですね。で、これで拘束して倒す。
All right, so I mean, assassination. That looked pretty good though. Smooth animations. Hopefully, it just doesn't duplicate the same animation if he does it again, though.
中覗いてみましょうかね。これでいくと、リュウさんが持ってたスピードスケルトン、速くなるやつ。
Okay, so there's a pretty heavy RPG equipment system aspect to this. Okay, I get it. All right, so it has a decent progression system, it looks like, too. So that's pretty good. All right, that's a big bonus for this game, in my opinion.
で、今155キロしか持ってないですけど、スピードが上がります。はい、だから逃げようとする。あ、来ましたね。ちょっと見つかりましたんで、やばいですね。
Huh.
逃げましょう。
So I'm guessing you don't have any ranged weapons or anything like that?
槍で襲ってくるんですよ。あれ
Whoa. Oh, no, nope, never mind. I spoke way too soon. There's the ranged weapon. Oh, these weapons look cool. There's like magnetic electric weapons and stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, no, that's like it's a line that just ties them up. All right. Pretty cool weapon. I like it. All right, decent combat there. That looks good. You know, this combat looks fun. It's not as hectic as a lot of other action games out there, but it looks pretty solid for the most part. Oh, can you hop on that? Can you drive it? Drive it, drive it, drive it. Nice! Alright, so I was not expecting vehicle usage like this in the game. So can you just like drive around with this thing in the open world? Game looks pretty good. By the way, one thing I will say from a game dev perspective is that when the camera turns, so here I should back this up by saying this, is that in order to save computational energy, I guess, or computational memory, whatever you want to call it, the console or whatever you're playing on only really renders what is on screen or what you're looking at. And so when the camera turns, the computer pretty much has to load everything that you're looking at that you're turning towards. So when you have a giant landscape like this and you're turning that quickly, it's doing a really good job at not dropping the frame rate when you turn, because that actually happens quite a bit. That more than people know is that when you actually turn really fast or rotate the camera, a lot of the times you'll see a bad frame rate drop. But in this game, there's just zero, and considering that this is a massive landscape, that's quite impressive from just a dev perspective. Huh. Did I just see a mechanic where you have to like keep yourself up if you're running too fast? Oh. Does he have like jets on his shoes? That's a pretty long jump there. Oh, awesome. You get a motorbike? All right. So in this giant world, you actually have some vehicles that will help you get to place faster, which is a good thing. I was not expecting, you know, a bunch of different vehicles like this, but this all looks good. But you can see like I don't know if it's my computer or what, but I think that the frame rate is dropping a little bit as you're speeding up here. I don't know if it's my computer or you know, video or whatever's going on. But you can see that the faster you go, the harder your computer has to work to actually render the objects that are coming into your field of view. Oh, is that rain on the camera? Wow, they're doing a lot of work here. This is visually a great looking game. But it's just very strange because visually this is a great looking game, but it's not filled with things. So from a developer's perspective, it's not as impressive as like a giant version of, let's say, something like a Grand Theft Auto or a Just Cause 4, 3, any of those kinds of games with giant worlds like this, but filled with a lot more things and different kinds of things. Like this is largely just rocks and trees and similar looking rocks and similar looking trees and grass. There aren't even trees. Are there even trees in this game? I have not seen one single tree yet, have I? Did anyone else notice that there's no trees in this game? Like there's maybe there's a reason for that though that'll be explained in the game. Wow, beautiful looking cave here, stunning. Wow, look at the reflections on those rocks. See, that's another thing too. That makes your computer work a lot harder when you do those kind of micro reflections, like reflections that are so small, but they're just everywhere. Your computer has to work pretty hard to render those reflections on those rocks when they're wet. So that was, again, just little things like this. Like Hideo Kojima makes very visually stunning games. And it's just, this is another one of those where this is a level up from Metal Gear visuals, which is kind of insane. However, again, as I was saying before, you know, there isn't a lot of anything other than rocks and grass and shrubs. So is it really that impressive? I mean, it's tough to say. There's not enough diversity of foliage for me to really give this like a 10 out of 10 visual game. Now for what's here, like the rocks are 10 out of 10, the grass is 10 out of 10, the landscape's 10 out of 10, but because there's not a diversity of actual things that are on the landscape, I can't give this a 10 out of 10 environment, in my opinion. So that's just me. Oh, a little bit of a glitchy backpack here. If you can see, it's kind of like hopping up and down in a really weird way. So that's another thing. But again, that happens because that's really tough to really, what you're doing actually when you're carrying something like that, or any sort of armor or whatever you're doing, is you're actually just attaching a different character or different mesh onto your character, and you're having the computer compute where that mesh would be. And the computer's already doing a load of work rendering this landscape and a bunch of stuff. So I don't know why that's jig-jagging up and down or why it was before, but I'll give it a pass. Very cool rolling hills, a lot of fog. So the fog is to hide the fog is a way for you to hide giant landscapes, but which is kind of funny because they're actually showing you giant landscapes and the fog isn't really doing much apart from way back there. So, but you can look at this. Actually, one more interesting thing too is that there are different layers of fog. So when you want to hide a lesser quality of visuals to save memory on your console, you can have different levels of fog in the distance. So you can see level 1 of fog here, which hides, I'm guessing, a slightly less detailed landscape. That's about, 50 meters in front of you. And then way back in the distance, it's a very heavy, dense fog. And that's because you want to cover up very rudimentary looking, heavy memory things in the background. And so fog is a useful tool to save memory and make the game play at a higher frame rate. Oh, you can see some of the rocks. They were just popping in there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I don't know about you, but this seems like a lot of walking. This has like a Red Dead kind of feeling to it, where it's very beautiful, and I'm guessing a lot of people will like this game. However, in order for you to really enjoy this game, I'm guessing you're going to have to really just appreciate the art style and the artistic point of view that this game has. Because it just, from what I've seen here, it's very beautiful, the message is great, not a lot of action that typically most players want to see. Oh, okay, that's also just a really random thing too. Your HP is actually just how much blood you have in you. That's kind of cool.
実機で説明しますね。ここのところ。はい。ここも結構面白いところ。はい。ここポートンドシティのプライベートルームで、まあいろんな洗面台とかもあります。これ土曜日見せますね。ノーマンといろいろ遊べるんですけど。でシャワーがあってちょっとシャワー、まあ、ウインクしてます。
Did you just wink at the camera?
シャワーに行って。
And he got naked in 5 seconds? 3 seconds? Impressive. Wow, look at the visuals for that game. The visuals in this game are just very, very, very good. The visuals in this game just look, again, this is at the highest level. And I think that's going to wrap this video up, actually. So, you know, we've gone through pretty much about 45 minutes to an hour worth of gameplay here. And we've seen a lot about this game, and there wasn't really a lot to comment on. There wasn't a lot happening. Like, you really have to appreciate the visuals, and you really have to appreciate the style, the story. But in terms of the actual like mechanics and the actual gameplay, there wasn't really too much to comment on. We got to see a little bit of stealth. We got to see a lot of walking. We got to see some vehicles, you know, a little bit of combat. We got to see some of the missions, some of the inventory. And this all looks good. So what would I say about this game? I would say this is a very story and feel-driven game. So this is one of those games where you could tell that the creator really wanted to focus in on how the player, how you wanted the player to feel while playing the game, and not so much on actually, hey, there's action, hey, there's a new thing to do, hey, go do this, hey, go do that, and have a million different side quests go off all at the same time. This is I want you to experience what it is like to go through a kind of apocalyptic type world, and what it would be like for someone to try and connect the world once again by themselves by traversing through endless amounts of treeless landscapes. So I think that's going to wrap this video up. What do you guys think of Death Stranding? Let me know in the comments down below. I think this is a game I could like, definitely. I can't give it a rating or anything like that, but I could say I would definitely be open-minded towards giving this game a long shot to playing. I would say that from what I've seen, I probably won't be able to put it into any of my favorites or anything like that. Visually, this is fantastic. It looks like movie-level graphics, so this is all great. But yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments down below. For now, that's going to wrap this video up. Remember to please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and check out my own game, which is Attica Origins, which should be coming out in sometime in 2020. We're going to be doing a Kickstarter in the next couple of months, so if you wanted to help the game out, help the game get developed, remember to join that Kickstarter. All of that, yeah, there's just all that. Hit that like and subscribe button. For now, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.